I'm sure that some of you are familiar with the YouTuber user Super Mario Glitchy 4, or SMG4 for short. For those of you who don't, SMG4, also known by his real-life name, Luke Lagarawachi, is an Asian-American YouTuber who uploads Super Mario 64 mechanisms. He first started in 2011 with a relatively small cast in his bloopers, himself, Mario, and several other YouTubers. But over the years, he's brought in more non-Mario characters and has even gotten into arcs. At the time of writing this, the current arc, called the anime arc, is set to end with the grand finale next week, and the current video released, World War Mario, is the Pallium episode. This might be hard to believe for you, though, but I was one of the few people who saw the original version of the video. So to say. It was only up for an hour before being taken down and replaced with the version you've already seen, likely due to the content that the version contained. The version started off nearly identical to the current version. The coast of Anime Island is shown, but the date is different, being May 12th instead of June 6th. Warboats approach the shores. Mario is an idiot like always, singing and having a fun time, while Fishy Boopkins carries medical supplies, and Terry nervously brings a telephone, likely to call for help if things get too bad. Swagmaster boasts that he's ready to kick some anime ass, and Chris says that in 30 seconds they will clear the bunkers and get off the beach as fast, and if they can. The doors slowly open and war breaks loose. The anime cartel starts shooing immediately, killing most of the anime Secret Service personnel and Mario, Luigi, and SMG4. Luke's self-insert get off the boat and make their way into the shore. Mario, as in the current version, asks SMG4 how his Thursday was while running to the nearest barrier. Everything from Fishy Boopkins' War Never Changes lines to Mario's Good Fireworks Show line is cut out. Everything from here is the same, except for Chris actually dying when he gets shot in the chest instead of simply being injured. Swagmaster's determination scene is shortened to him just being taken out to snipers who killed Chris. Soon enough, SMG4 and some of the other surviving people, Mario, Tari, Boopkins, Sako, Luigi, and Chris, reach the entrance of the base, and Mario says he's ready to kill some bitches. The scene shows the inside of the base, though. It's where things start to deviate slightly. Instead of Meggy, who's been kidnapped and dropped into the Ink Saucer 2000, name self-explanatory, screamed pitch shift loud Niagara, her screams actually sounded lifelike and shrill. Once Francis, the big bad in the arc, shows the machine into maximum overdrive, Maggie's screams get louder and more pained. Axel and Desti plead for Francis to stop, like in the released version, but he doesn't listen, marking that Maggie is a strong girl. This bit over words in the same as the released version, Francis hearing Mario taking out his goons and leaving, Sako angrily asking where Meggy is, Francis mocking her, taking out a picture of Sheribob, and jamming the Inkweaver into it, bringing the swordsman to life. Axel managed to get the fake Mewtwo to shut off the machine. After this, though, things start deviating. After Axel frees Desti, she says that a little warning next time would be good. Meggy's limp body is shown. It twitches, but unlike the released version, she doesn't come back alive. Desti asked, Meggy, you alright? No reply. Axel says, Beanie Fish Girl? Still no response. Then, like in the current version, the fighting between Mario and the others and Sephora is heard, and Axel and Desti, alarmed, look at the doorway. After a moment, though, Desti just loses it and snaps. Rage boils in her eyes as she rushes off towards the doorway without waiting for Axel. The fight is then shown, with one of the two soldiers standing in front of the camera asking Sephiroth, with the smash quote, if he knows that killing is never the answer. That soldier is then killed by Sephiroth, followed by the other soldier. Mario attempts to attack Sephiroth, but it is simply grabbed by him, and then Desti rushes in, rage still boiling in her eyes. She grabs Mario, tossing him aside, and then attempts to fight Sephiroth herself, but is just knocked out of the way by him. Sako leaps in and prepares to hit him with her hammer, like in the current version, but Sephiroth just steps aside and she lands face first into the ground. After SMG4 tries and fails to insult Sephiroth over Twitter, a close-up shot of Francis is shown, and he asked, You Bacchus think you can defeat the one-winged angel? Desti then gets to her feet, trembling with rage, and walks slowly over to Francis. She grabs him by the neck and says, "Yes, I do," and then throws him onto the floor. After the others express their glee for seeing Desti okay, she then uses the opportunity to grab the Inkweaver, then turns it back towards Sephiroth, running towards him with the pen. The two then duel off, like in the released version, sword against pen, with obligatory sword clashing sound effects while Luigi, Mario, SMG4, Fishy Boopkin, Sako, and Tari all make chase to Francis, who quickly books the scene. It then cuts back to Desti and Sephiroth's duel, now in the room with the ink saucer, where the latter knocks the former into the air. She lets go of the inkweave, which she tries to catch, but it ends up back in Francis's hands, and the oodling lands on the floor. Tari tells Saki not to let him draw another character, and the Bichu leaps towards him, hammer extended. Sephiroth teleports behind her, however, and states via sound clip that's nothing personal, kid. Before knocking Sako aside, she hits the machine and shakily gets to her feet after a moment, coughing. It's shown that she has a pretty bad gash in her neck, likely Sephiroth's doing. Desti, help! Desti's eyes eyeing the gash in Sako's neck, makes a face that is, for lack of a better word, totally consumed with rage, albeit insanity, her eye twitching, and mumbles, "That son of a bitch." And then she yells, "Tari, distract him!" Cringing at Destiny's loudness, Tari nods and reaches into her pocket, pulling out something. With her eyes closed, she throws it, hoping for the best, like in the current version. It turns out to be a duck, which lands by Sophie's feet. This works as a good enough distraction, and Desti leaps in and knocks Francis out of the way, while telling him via a Sub-Zero voice clip to get over here. A sadistic smile was on her face as she held Sephiroth, her eye twitching. "Batter up!" She then throws him. SMG4 and Mario kick him back and forth before SMG4 knocks him into the air. Fishy Boopkin swallows a rock, and Luigi aims him like a rocket launcher before firing the rock, which launches into the air and hits Sephiroth. It knocks him into the wall, and he dissolves, presumably finished. Desti, meanwhile, heads over to Francis, grabbing him by the neck, and for the first and only time in the video with the real voice, said, punctuated by the camera getting closer to them with each word, "Get out of this base." She then throws him hard enough to break a hole in the wall, and watches him go, her shoulders going slack as she calms down. The characters celebrate while Tari heads over to Sako, banging up her neck and patting her head. Desti grins, saying, "Heh, that was too easy." She then paused, frowning, "But I need to do something real quick." She approaches Maggie's limp body in the ink saucer as the credits, the director, editor, producer, writer, assistants, and the others, and fan art of the week appear. She sits next to Sako, staring at the Inkling's body. "Maggie, I know we've always been rivals, but I'm really gonna miss you." She then puts her hands over the ink saucer, tears streaming down her to a well in her eyes. "Who's going to take your place, though? Nobody can match your skills." The video then ended. After watching, I immediately emailed Luke about the content of the video, namely the deaths in it, and here was his response. "Removed for safety reasons." Well, you clearly weren't supposed to see that. At first I had planned on using that version, though, but I had plans to make it go public. Kevin must have publicized it himself as a sort of prank or something. I'll take down the video shortly, and the correct version will go up soon. Maggie will remain alive in the correct version, by the way, but something else will have to go. From Luke. And that, my little shadows, was SMG4 World War Mario Original Version, a SMG4 Lost Episode Creepypasta. My final thoughts on the story? This is a really good SMG4 Creepypasta, I'm not gonna lie. I was actually expecting this to be a terrible kind of story, but I have to admit, I'm quite surprised. This was well detailed, played out very, very well, very interesting, and honestly sounds and reads like a regular SMG4 video. I gotta admit, I'm very surprised by this. But that's a good thing. Damn, people, we're actually doing pretty good. 3 creepypastas so far that haven't been absolute dog crap. I think things might be changing a little bit. I really hope I didn't jinx that. But yeah, this story was actually a really good concept. I mean, the very fact that this is an original version of World War Mario, which I actually am going to watch after I make this video, is quite interesting, to say the least. I mean, Was it particularly scary though? Not really, but it was a very entertaining creepypasta nonetheless. I've thought this story was really well detailed, very well made, played just like a regular SMG4 episode, and was all extremely realistic in the manner of how it would normally go out. I mean, damn, this makes you want to watch SMG4 even more now. But with all due sincerity, this was really good. But is there anything particularly negative about it? No, I can't think of anything particularly negative about this creepypasta. It's well detailed, very well made, the storyline flows out well, the characters are all in, well, character, and the only real difference is that Meggy dies at the end of it. I mean, but if anything, I liked it. I loved this story. It was a perfect SMG4 creepypasta. And I have to say, author, you did a damn good job, and I'm quite happy that you did that. But like I always say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of the story would have to be a... My final rating of the story would have to be a 10 out of 10. A really beautifully well-made SMG4 creepypasta, and I'm quite sure if SMG4 ever were to sit there and read this story, he would be 100% proud of you for coming up with something so awesome. I'm proud of you, and I'm quite sure SMG4 feels the same exact way. But what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys not? Also, what would you have personally done to help make the story a lot better? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. I'm the Shadow Reader, thanks again for watching today's episode, and like always, roll the outro because I'm out.
Your mouth goes dry with each battered breath. You try to scream, your mind begs to leave. Glued to your computer screen. The killers they slash, the tapes burn and crash. The cartridge you bought will be your final haunt. The rituals of hate will seal your fate. The tears you shed will be from the fear-gripping horde-driven nightmarish gore-filled, terrorizing, hateful, burning, violent, rage-inducing, knife-slashing, blood-splattering, silent screams. Only time will tell if you will escape this online hell. Your horror-filled obsessions will come with its own regressions. Your pathetic screams will not be heeded in any way, because your nightmares will come at any day.